Hey, it's James Raby. We have to say something here, but I don't want to say much. Thanks for listening to the Y105 FM Early Morning Show Radio On Demand podcast. Love you. 31st anniversary of the storm, the Halloween storm of 91. Big mess. Lots of stuff went down. And I asked you, hey, what are your memories of that? And Sue said, our 2-year-old twins, when we were living in St. Louis Park, Minnesota, I made their costumes and I didn't care if it snowed. They were going out to trick or treat. And then she shared a picture of them. And you got to check out the Y105 FM app for all these stories, but also for a picture of those 2 little cutie bugs. Oh, in teeny tiny costumes because they're teeny tiny kids. Kevin Hamill said, on a small dairy farm in rural Viola, started as rain, turned colder, ice covered power lines, collapsed power poles, ran this tractor and portable generator for 3 days continuously for electricity. Gave my teenage kids a lifetime memory. And then he shows the tractor, which is exactly the kind that my sweetie pie dad had. That's amazing. Think of that. 3 days running those 2 things. Susan said, all the dads in the neighborhood took the kids trick-or-treating on sleds while the moms stood by hot fire pits and handed out hot toddies and hot cocoa for the dads and kids. The next morning, we all snuggled in together since everything was closed. Once the snow slowed and the neighbors came out together to help everyone clear driveways, build snow forts and snowmen. Only fond memories of that day. I love that. Heartwarming stuff is great. Darla said, funniest weekend ever in West Concord. We went along with our costume party plan via candlelight. Beer stayed cold without coolers. We were without power for just under 24 hours. Cars slid by the driveway and had to turn around. We have great video, but no pics. If you want to see all of them, there's more than 30 stories on the Y105 FM app. It is really, some of it's treacherous, some of it is heartwarming, some of it's just plain hilarious about how to keep your beer cold. You're listening to Y105 FM's Early Morning Show.
This is Y105.
You know, Mars ain't the kind of place to raise your kids. It's cold as H-E double toothpicks. I love that song, and I love that song. It is Y105 FM's Early Morning Show. Hi, I'm James Raby. And are you ready for, what would you say, Wednesday? It is Wednesday, right? Checking my phone. Yes, it is Wednesday. Some days I'm not quite sure. Am I the jerkhead crab face? For telling my nephew about family dynamics that his parents didn't want him to know. No real names here. Nephew in question is James, 17, male. He'll be 18 in December. The other nephew and nieces in question are Cole, 28, Melody, and Brianny. Brianny, cool, 30. My sister is the biological mother of Cole, Melody, and Brianny. Their father died when the kids were 8 and 10. My sister married James's dad 15 years ago, and she never formally adopted him, but did raise him as her own son. Well, sure. There was a lot of tension and conflict in the home, and Cole, Melody, and Brianny all moved out immediately upon graduating/turning 18. Oh, that's not nice. The relationship with my sister then ended. Their relationship with my sister then ended. It also ended with James and his father. I stayed in contact with the three of them, though, and have always known where they were and that they were not interested in reconciliation. Ever since my sister took on James as her own, they have allowed him to believe she is his biological mother and that the other kids are his biological siblings, and it was only a few years ago I realized he believed they shared the same father as well. My sister and her husband have always encouraged James to believe that his siblings love and want to know him and that they will have a relationship one day. He has been craving that more in the last 2.5 years or so. He has mentioned it a number of times. Some family members and I tried to convince his parents to at least tell him the biological truth so he's not faced with it from people who will not care about cushioning his feelings or making sure he's okay. They refused. My sister said there is no biological truth. They are the parents and all 4 of their kids, and it ends there. Well, I'm not going to say that that's not true. They are his parents. It is a family, adopted or not, part of the family originally or not. Families are complicated things, and families can be any random group, right? It's not just biology that makes you a family. However, and I think the older kids in the family prove that. They don't want any part of that family. They made their own families elsewhere. So I'm just laying that out there. Just throwing that out there. James has been talking to me a lot about finding his siblings and being excited to have them back in his life. He mentioned how maybe he could reconcile their parents and them too, and how he hoped to prove they were never replaced by him, and that he knows it must have been hard to have a baby come into the family so much later. He believed that was what the estrangement was about, what his parents told him. So his parents lied to him about why the three older siblings moved on. That's where I'm beginning to have a real problem here. I don't have a problem with mom and dad saying, hey, we're all family. I get that. I totally get that. However, when you lie to the kid, wow. And I think you should also let the kid know biologically what's going on so that they can do what they need to do, right, if there's medical stuff comes up. But basically, his parents told him it was his fault that the older siblings don't want any contact anymore. Took no responsibility for themselves. Oh, my gosh. I decided he needed to know after my sister and her husband refused yet again to talk to him. So I was honest. My sister wasn't his bio mom. His dad was not their bio dad. They were not blood siblings. I told him I loved him, and it didn't make him any less my nephew. But I didn't want him blindsided by not getting the response he was expecting. He asked me, do you think they'd actually want a relationship with me? I told him no. He confronted his parents about the lies and the way they were setting him up. My sister called and told me I was a jerkhead crapface and stepped out of my place by telling him what I did without her and her husband's consent. I can see my nephew James is struggling and trying to work out in his head after the truth, and it makes my sister's words a bit harder. Did I do the wrong thing? Am I the jerkhead crapface here? Holy moly. You know, I think the kid needs to know the bio stuff for medical records, all that kind of thing. But to let the kid believe it was his fault that the other siblings are gone without relating anything that might have been on their fault as parents. Holy moly. So I don't like it when people meddle like that, but I think the bio part he needed to know, and especially when he was told it was his fault. Dude, that's not your fault. So anyway, what did you think? On the Y105 FM Facebook page, Renee J. said, no, you're not. The parents are for lying to the child. They should have never kept it from him. Thank you for being the only adult who could tell the truth, the child, the honest truth, and finally letting him heal and grow from it. Well, he's got a lot of healing to do. Absolutely. Lack of trust in parents is, I can't even imagine how damaging that would be if I had found out my parents had been lying to me about something and letting me think I was to blame for what had happened. I mean, I give the parents credit saying, once you get older, everyone will be friends. Don't worry about that. Because as a little kid, you want to know that your family does love you. But holy moly, what do you think? 507-292-1053. I have someone here that is wildly opposed to what everyone is doing, and she's going to explain her point coming up in just about 12 minutes. I'll say 10 on Y105 FM's Early Morning Show. This is another beautiful sunny day, high in the 70s today. Woo-woo. It is Y105 FM's Early Morning Show. Hi, I'm James Raby, and am I the jerkhead crapface for telling my nephew about family dynamics that his parents didn't want him to know? Namely, that he's been told his whole life that he is a bio relative of his sisters and brothers, and that his mom is his bio mom, none of which is true. But more importantly, that he's also told that the reason his three older siblings moved out when they were 18 or as soon as they graduated, whichever came first, was because of him coming along as a baby. And most people are saying, no, you're not the jerkhead crapface. Well, Christy said something that is giving me a good long think. She says, I think you're all jerkhead crapfaces for handling the entire situation like you did. You should have stayed out of the situation that you do not belong in, and your nephew's parents should have told him the truth about who his bio family is all along. There is obviously many family dynamics in place since three children moved out at 18 and want no further contact. As an adopted child myself who has known their entire lives, this is just so sad that you're all acting like blood is the only thing that makes a family. I think a whole lot more needs to be mended than biology. Oh my gosh, that is so well said. And I think a lot of us know that now, that bio only goes so far. If you have a great bio family, that's awesome. But if your family is made up of people from different families, there's nothing wrong with that. A family is your family, right? The other 3 children that moved on, they have found their own families in their own way. And that's awesome, too. So I really appreciate you commenting, Christy. That's just fantastic. Christy Steinbeck-Beyer. Very, very cool stuff. Statewide alert has been issued for missing Minnesota man next in the Y105 FM Early Morning Show News Minute.
This is why.
So the BCA has issued a statewide missing persons alert for a man last seen in the Duluth area. Good morning. I'm James Raby. This is the Y105 FM Early Morning Show News Minute. The Carlton County Sheriff's Office says 38-year-old Lucas Duden was last seen in Carlton on October 25th. A bulletin says his vehicle and belongings were located in McGregor. His description, 5'8", 165 pounds, blue eyes, sandy brown hair. You can see a picture of him on the Y105 FM app. If you see him, obviously call law enforcement. More news you'll find on our app this morning. The fallen hiker rescued from Bluff in Red Wing. Suspect in Rochester shooting held on $800,000 bail. And ask before you order the pot stickers. A big recall has just been announced. And the rabies shot. A London man went viral yesterday for the Halloween prank he played on trick-or-treaters. Now remember, rabies shots are doughheads in the news. And let's see if you think this lines up to being a doughhead. The prankster, who wants to be anonymous, wrapped Brussels sprouts in gold foil. Kids reached into his candy bowl and took the Brussels sprouts because they thought they were Ferrero Rocher. Is that how you say it? Chocolate balls. Chef. And who gets the rabies shot? I think the people attacking the guy online for the harmless prank. I think that's great. Come on. No kid is going to like Brussels sprouts. It's just not going to happen. Right? And the parents can roast that thing up and have themselves a nice little treat. Y105 FM weather for today. Beautiful, sunny. High around 75. Tonight, cloudy, breezy, and 55. And then tomorrow, it's going to be 69 and feeling fine. Plus, sun. And then Thursday night and Friday night, we got rain in the forecast. But today, beautiful, sunny, and 75. It is 49, and you're listening to Y105 FM's Early Morning Show. FM's Early Morning Show. Do you remember the Valley Girl craze of the 80s? Well, there is someone named Nikita on TikTok that does a pretty good impression.
Girls, if you're looking for a man, here are 4 ways to know he's one of the good ones. When you met, he said it was nice to meet you. This clearly shows he's interested because he thinks it's nice meeting you. How romantic. Does he look at you when you speak? This shows that he's attentive and focused and can even look after some kids someday. He can open a door. This shows that he works out and takes care of his body, which is hot. Finally, does he know your name? If he can remember the little things about you, you are so in and you should go for it.
That is really good impersonation. Valley girl, she's a valley girl. Okay, fine, for sure, she's a valley girl, and there is no cure. Okay, fine, for sure, she's a, oh my God, valley girl. Yes, I remember the entire song. It is Y105 FM's Early Morning Show, kicking off the 8 a.m. all-music hour next.
Experience will keep Minnesotans safe.
On a phone call with the, what is it called? The online pharmacy. The mail-order pharmacy that we use here at Town Square Media. Hi, it's James Raby. It's Y105 FM's Early Morning Show. What do you mean you won? Well, I get a call once a month to schedule my special order of anti-rejection medication. It's a specialty pharmacy, and they always have to talk to me, and we always go through the same thing, and it's kind of dumb, I think, but, whatever. They got to make sure where it's going and all that jazz. And I used to hate it, and I thought to myself, the only reason you hate this is because it annoys you. Stop thinking that way and start talking to the people that you're dealing with, because they're all really nice. And today, everything went so smoothly, and I didn't really get a chance to add any of me to the conversation. And so at the very end, she said, do you have any questions? And I said, yes. Are you a real operator or are you an automated operator? And she started laughing out loud, which means I won. And she says, no, I'm a real person. Why would you think that I'm not? I said, well, it just, everything you said was so perfect. And then the way your microphone mutes, It just sounded like it was just perfect. It was like so slick and stuff. And we started laughing about it, and she, and then we chatted just a touch. Her name was Ruth, Benacard Pharmacy. If you ever talk to her in the specialty pharmacy, she's a hoot. But it was really like, I thought she was a robot, and she wasn't. She was a real live human being, which I should know. But sometimes you can't tell. Anyway, that's my experience. I hope you have fun with your telepharmacist, too. It is Y105 FM's early morning show.
This is Y105.
Be shot. I know I've kept my mouth shut about him for the most part, but I gotta talk about him. And I also have a Raby shot about a Halloween prank. Are you ready for both? Let's do it. Hi, it's James Raby on the Y105 FM early morning show. No, that wasn't Tone Loc. That was me. A London man went viral yesterday for the Halloween prank he played on trick-or-treaters. Well, it'd be 2 days ago now. The prankster doesn't want anyone to know who he is because people got so upset. He wrapped Brussels sprouts in gold foil. And among all the other candy, kids could choose what they wanted. Kids would pick the gold foil because it was, ooh, that's shining, it'd be really good. And so they got home and discovered they had Brussels sprouts. And that really tickles my funny bone. I think, that's a harmless prank, super harmless prank. Plus, you got a little bitty cabbage then. You can shave up into your salad or whatever. Super good stuff, especially if you roast it. My mom always boiled it, which was just, ugh. And then she started steaming it. Ugh. She was really a good cook. I don't know why she foisted horrible Brussels sprouts on me, but maybe it's just a kid's palate's not ready for that kind of fanciness or something. But my Raby shot isn't to that guy. I think that's kind of a fun prank. Doesn't hurt anyone. And my Raby shot goes to the people that are attacking him online. Way to ruin a kid's Halloween. If that ruins a kid's Halloween, it's a good time for a parent to do some parenting and teach the kids. Sometimes people play jokes, and it was all free candy anyway, so you're not really out anything. That's a teachable moment. And the other Raby shot is to the fans of Kanye West, who, after his really vicious, rampant anti-Semitism that he's been talking about, oh my gosh, just awful stuff. His fans found out that he lost some money. Last week, Forbes reported that he was no longer on the list of billionaires and has a new estimated net worth of $400 million. Oh, no! Whatever will he do? He could spend so much money every single day and never run out before he dies. What's he going to do? Well, his fans have hatched a plan. They created a GoFundMe campaign for Kanye West. Now, if they want to do that, that's fine. They can do it. I'm not big on the anti-Semitism thing, right? I'm not big on all the awful stuff he said and the alliances he's drawing. But he gets to do what he wants to do, and people get to quit him if they want to. That's great. And if they are still his fan, I don't understand it. And they can certainly give their money to someone that absolutely, positively doesn't need it. But wow, I just think, what suckers? That's a sucker move. And I don't know if he's asking for it or not. And hopefully he'll say no. And one of the reasons I've not spoken out about all of this is because compared to the danger I think Kim was in, I think no one wanted to talk about that, the danger that Kim was in when they got divorced, and he was threatening her and stalking her and being awful. Everyone's talking about the anti-Semitism stuff. And so I feel like it's been covered. I don't need to cover that. But fans giving him money so he can get back to billionaire status? Holy moly. Hey, I got a great couple nonprofits here in Rochester you could help out, like Gift of Life Transplant House, NAMI, Southeastern Minnesota. And if you got $1 billion to spare, go ahead. Send it our way. We could probably divide it among a ton of awesome and worthy organizations. Good heavens. It is Y105 FM's early morning show. Coming up next, Michelle is going to kick off a ton of commercial-free music, and then at 2 o'clock, give you another chance to win the BSB and Me in NYC from BMG Music and Y105 FM.
This is Y105.
Hey, it's James Raby. Thank you so much for listening to the Y105 FM Early Morning Show Radio On Demand podcast. I hope you'll subscribe and tune in Monday through Friday between 6 and 10 for more fun than you can shake a stick at.